Welcome to the Cyber Tech Podcast, inside the minds of everyday IT and cyber pros, powered by AspireByte, hosted by Mike Fierros. Real life stories, real careers, real world experience. Each episode brings you honest conversations with people working across the tech field, from cybersecurity and information security to IT, sharing lessons learned, challenges faced, and what it truly takes to build and sustain a career in tech. Let's get into it.
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? This is Mike again, Cyber Tech Podcast, inside the minds of everyday IT and cyber pros. Thanks again for tuning in. If you're listening here on YouTube or on Spotify, I really appreciate it. If this is your first time listening to the Cyber Tech Podcast, be sure to subscribe to the AspireByte YouTube channel, where we share full Cyber Tech Podcast episodes, clips, and tech-focused content. And while you're there, like and share the videos, help spread the word. You can also listen to every episode of Cyber Tech Podcast on Spotify. If you have been enjoying the show, give us a 5-star rating, drop a quick comment, and share it with others. It helps us reach more people and keep the mission going. Thank you for everyone that's already done that. Want to explore more? Visit AspireByte Hub at aspirebyte.card.co. It's your all-in-one starting point for free resources, podcast links, merch, and more. Speaking of merch, check out AspireByte Shop at aspirebyte.myspreadshop.com to rep the mission whenever you go. And with all your support, we have now a little over 103 YouTube subscribers, so appreciate that on YouTube. Let's get right into episode. This is episode number 36, and this episode is going to be really special. The gentleman I have on, I've been talking to for a while on LinkedIn, going back and forth, and we have a very similar background when it comes to media, when it comes to video editing, audio editing, podcasting in general, and also going into technology. So I'd like to introduce the one, the only, Efren Salazar, podcast host and founder, CEO of Wake Up X. How's it going, Efren?
Hey, good. Thank you. Appreciate it, first of all, for bringing me to this podcast, man. It's great that we finally linked up. We've been talking for a while, and it's awesome, man. I'll tell you a little bit more myself. So my name is Efren Salazar. I have a Wake Up X podcast. That's my main podcast. And the way I met you, man, it was I seen you on LinkedIn, and it's a funny story, man, because at first I thought it was one of those promotional advertising aspects of it. So I was like, this is just one of those ads or something. They're just trying to promote. And the way I looked at it, I was like, that's interesting. Let me do a little bit more research, because it kept popping up multiple times. And I don't know who was it. It could have been one of your followers or something. So that's why I was like, that's interesting. Like, why does it keep popping up? And it just how our podcast aligns so much. That's what I was curious. I was like, okay, it has to be one of these fishing ones. It has to be one of not the fishing ones, one of the spammer ones, because it's too relatable. So that's when we got together, and that's how we met together, man. And that was that's when I reached out to you. I was like, hey, man, I like what you're doing. I like how you're building your podcast. It relates a lot to what I'm doing. It's the same exact mission that we have, pretty much just educating, helping, mentoring through the whole process. So it's great, man. It's great. Thank you for putting me in this podcast, man.
Oh, you're welcome, Efren. No, man. Yeah, we hit it off right away, man. Like, when you reached out to me, I started seeing your content, and guys, check out Efren's content as well. I'll make sure I put the podcast links on this episode show notes. But we hit it off right away because we have a similar kind of background when it comes to media and also podcasting and in general. And I think someone that has that particular skill set, working in media, working in technology, and combining those two, like we have, Efren, I think that's really powerful skill sets to use, and combination of those two. And I think I think we need more folks like that for sure in technology.
Yeah, you're definitely right, man. I think that's what we need. As you may know, like in the cyber industry, IT industry, we're very there's type of categories. There's people that are very isolated, and there's people that don't want to talk about it at all. They don't want to tell. They don't want to give their secrets, so they don't want to educate anything. They're like, oh, you know what, you're trying to move up to something another level. I won't help you. So they won't even try to help you or nothing like that. So that's when I realized cybersecurity needs these type of platforms. So and the way that you brought it up too, you brought your own cybersecurity, and I think that was my goal too. It was to bring that up to educational purposes, more of like trying to get more information out there, instead of just, oh, you know what, I can't tell you because I'm a specialist or something like that. It was like, it doesn't you don't really look at it like that, man. Like, we all trying to help each other out, man. It's not something that to gatekeep, pretty much. That's the word I was looking for.
Appreciate your career too as well, Efren. We meet folks that are really cool coworkers. We learn from them. Then there's other coworkers that are really cool, but however, they don't want to teach you anything. And you learn from both in different ways. But like, yeah, I agree. It's definitely encouraging when you see someone like yourself, Efren, and doing the things you're doing, and you're very collaborative. And I think those listening to this podcast and your podcast and any other type of technology related podcast, collaboration between tech teams, between the different departments or organization you're working in. Maybe it's in media, but like collaboration, like we're doing right here, Efren. I think that's really much needed. And naturally, we're introverts sometimes, right? And working in technology, and I think something like this, it's really much needed for
Yeah, it's
sure.
definitely needed. It's definitely needed in this
Yeah.
industry. Just like you just said, like working with everybody it has to be that fundamental as well. You have to work on that
Hmm.
those skill sets from your experience. You came out from media too, media and IT and cyber and all this stuff. If you're working all together and you put it all in one, you start making something different. Like you just made your
Yeah.
podcast. That was something like you built that media aspect of it. From the media, you came up also for your IT, your
Mm.
cybersecurity. You put it all in one, and that's not what you were saying, but that's pretty much what I also want to add on into it. And that's something
Yeah.
that you have to kind of look around like, okay, what is my skill sets? How can I put it all together? And also
Hmm.
now going back to your original, pretty much your original subject was that working with other teams, other people, that's when you need to really establish yourself. That's when you start learning from other
Hmm.
people. It's not something that you just like, okay, I'm a professional of IT. Yeah, you're a professional, but there's so many other categories. There's applications, there's cybersecurity, there's GRC. So you have to
Oh yeah,
understand and learn from everybody else. You just can't be that person that was like, I know it all. And
for sure.
that's that's a scenario in cybersecurity. That's a scenario for IT. That's a scenario for anybody in
Hmm.
like in a technical field. Unfortunately, that's something I wanted to kind of break that. I was like, you know what? We're not specialties of anything. We're like, if anything, we're learning from everybody else.
Efren, tell us a little about yourself and how you got into technology.
So yeah, man. Like we spoke before, I
Yeah.
haven't told you the full story, but yeah, what I started was more. I started young. I started young in an IT. I
Mm.
started young when I was at the technology aspects of it. So I was around 13 years old, just trying to get into just
Nice.
opening things, just opening watches. I mean, not watches, clocks, and putting little speakers in there, modifying. So that's when it was like my
Nice.
little engineering side. It was more like just curious. I was that was well, I can't say officially 13, but I was already at like 10 to 13. It was when I was tinkering with stuff. So 10 to
Nice.
13, I was tinkering with stuff, and I can officially say I was in IT or messing around with computers while I'm 13 and 14 years old. So
Nice.
yeah, 10 to 13, I was kind of tinkering, engineering side of it, understanding how things were working, how things don't work. And at 14 years old, that's when I mean 13 or 14 years old, that's when I got my first computer. And that's when I started messing
Mm.
around with it. The funny thing is that it wasn't something that we bought. It was something that was just donated to us. Like, hey, we got this computer. Everything works. We just don't have a mouse. We're like, oh, okay, well, you don't have a
Nice.
mouse. Okay, well, I'll figure it out somehow. I'll play with it. So I only had a computer without a mouse, and I ended up like learning how to use the keyboard to do everything, to go to start, to go to command prompts, to do all this stuff. So that's when I
Mm.
got curious about all this stuff, and that was in a younger age. Starting getting older and older, getting more into technology, understanding how computers worked. That's when I started going to a nonprofit organization, working and volunteering. This is something I want to tell everybody as well. Look
Nice.
into volunteering positions, look into opportunities. Yes, you may not get
Oh
paid,
yeah.
but you're getting paid for the knowledge that you're getting. So this organization
Mm.
is called Computer for Kids. This organization is based on you learn about computers, you fix computers, you volunteer for specific hours, X amount of hours, and you get a free computer. So my goal was never
Mm.
about the free computer. My goal was to always understand how these things work, and after that, whatever X amount of hours I had, I told them, I was like, hey, you know what? Can I still volunteer? Like, you don't have to pay me. Just let me be here. Let me understand. And I was pretty much
Nice.
their first volunteer that really took that extra initiative.
Mm.
So, I was over there volunteering with them, understanding, and that's when I started getting the fundamentals of business. I was like, "You know what? I know I could do something out of this." I'm not able to get a job because I kept getting rejected in multiple jobs for, like, the simplest things like dishwashing,
Yeah.
janitorial, anything. I was like, "You know what? I can't get a job." I was already, at that age, I was around 14 to 16. I was at that age trying to get a job, and I couldn't find anything. Nobody wanted to give me a shot.
Mm.
So that's when I was like, you know what, my entrepreneur spirit pretty much got into me. I was like, you know what, I gotta. If nobody wants to give me an opportunity, well, I'm gonna make my own opportunity. So around 13
Mm,
to 16, 13, it was more experimental and everything. 16, that's when I was starting to fully establish myself with clients already. So people already started
nice.
knowing me. People already knew my number, already knew me. They know where I'm at. So pretty much they will stop by my house and drop off a computer, fix the computer. It was like those. It was a quick little fix, and it was like 20 to 40 bucks. I was at that
Nice.
age, a 14-year-old, 20 to 40 bucks is still a lot of money at that
Oh,
age.
yeah. Yeah.
So I was getting about maybe $150 a day for computer
Nice.
repairs. I was like, "Oh shoot, like this is awesome." I'm not working in construction. I'm not doing this crazy stuff, and I'm making about 150 sometimes a day. So that's when I got really interested of all that. And now I just got to kind of give you all the highlights, but also give you the backstory that all the stuff that I had, it wasn't given to me. So it would I'll tell you
Mm,
the real stories about like what's in the back end, like what really happened also in the back end. So when I was also around a lot of I was in the community. It was a lot of gangs, like a
mm,
lot of gangs. So a lot of gangs, a lot of negativity. There wasn't positivity. So all my life was never really positivity. What it sounds
mm,
like right now, I'm giving you the positivity side, but that's something that I made it. I had friends that they were gang banging. There were friends that were dying.
mm,
I had friends that were overdosing. I had friends from going to prison. And the funny thing that I grew up with this that I thought was normal. I
mm.
completely thought that was normal. I thought it was like, okay, going to prison is normal. It's like I should look into that. So it's weird because you kind of get manipulated, you get brainwashed,
Yeah.
thinking it was like, you know what? Okay, you go to prison, you're one of the big boys. So I was going through that journey. I was like, okay, you know what? I kind of had my mindset that I don't want to go to prison, but I was so influenced towards the people and my parents, also immigrants and everything. They've always told
Mm,
me like, don't go to prison, don't do this. This is where you're going to land. And I didn't really, as a young kid, we don't see that. We just see like
true.
what your friends are doing and your friends are doing, and I mean your friends are making money over there, but also they're in
Mm,
prison. So that's when I was getting influenced towards that, and I was like, okay, I might go to prison. I want to go to prison. So that was my influence, but at the same time, I had those type of old like we call them OGs, original gangsters.
oh, geez.
But
Yep.
for other people that don't know what it is, OGs is pretty much a mentor, but it's a bad mentor. It's a it's a bad mentor. It's an original gangster that's been older
Mm,
than you. So pretty much what he there was a lot of OGs and some of them were telling me some good advice. It's like, hey, you know what? Don't get into the gangs, don't get into the streets. You're very smart, you know what you're doing. I had some OGs, you know what, you gotta hit the prison, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. So a lot of them there was a lot of contradiction on this conversation. So that's when I started like kind of realizing like what do I really want to do? What do I want to
mm,
really figure it out through this whole process and everything when I was transitioning to understanding things. Trust me, this is age at around 14 to 17 years old. So this transition was still
mm.
going on like that. So even though I was getting money on computer repairs and cell phone repairs and everything else. I was still in that transition. So it was still an iffy subject. We didn't know what to do. So that's what was going on. Moved on. Got a mentor, a real solid mentor, my cousin
Nice.
that really taught me about computers, that really showed me about computers. He had his own computer shop, so he was one of my biggest influences through this process. Like, hey, you know what?
Mm,
Get out the streets. I went through this already. It's not worth it. Get into your business. You're already smart enough. You know what you're doing. So just keep going, man. Just keep going, and don't stop. So I took his advice. I went through it. I went through the whole process and just started making my own business. Started make officially going for like real store, starting the business. For a few years, I already got established to computer and cell phone repairs. It's called the Cell Phone Fix. You can find it on Google. Type in the Cell Phone Fix Sacramento, the Cell Phone Fix Yuba City. You'll see some pictures, some images of me right there, some feedback. You'll see a lot of
nice.
reviews with my name. So that's my pretty much my story from the positivity to the negativity and again to the positive side of it, how things change.
You're a good example, Efren, from growing up in that environment and seeing what everybody else is doing. Sometimes like we see everybody else is doing and like, oh wait a minute, that must be a normal thing to do. Like, going to prison, hanging out with the wrong people, like hang out with you mentioned the OG, a bad mentor, right? And you found a good mentor in your cousin. I think, you know, I could definitely relate that too. Like hang out with the wrong people. And my mentors were my grandpa and my dad. And I think we need people like that, men like that, to help folks to realize your potential. And sometimes we don't really know it. And we need that other family member or friend or father, grandfather, cousin to be like, hey man, no, you could do it. And I think that's really important. That's something that in tech, we tend to be very independent, meaning like very, very siloed. And I think having a mentor along with you, it's going to help you out, shaping you up and kind of put you on the right path, if you will. And I think that's a really good background that you have right there to come from that and then learn from that and then start your own business with your cousin. I think that's a really good diligent way to be like, hey, make extra money and then learn technology at the same time. That's really cool.
Yeah, thank you, man. It was definitely a journey. So that's the way I looked at it all the time. It was more of a, I didn't
Yeah.
look at the pay reward. Of course, we're all gonna be trying to look for some money, right? That's, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Like, you're in business, you're doing something, you're looking for that reward, but you have to also love the process. You gotta love the journey. If you don't love the
Mhm.
journey, if you're just thinking
So
about the
true.
money aspect of it, unfortunately, you're just not gonna make it. You just kind of keep redirecting your path. So if you're really
So
looking for
true.
money, go into real estate, go to
Yeah.
stocks, go into different things. That's the real money. If you really want to, again, if you want to go to the money, go to the places where they do oil, to remove oil. That's where the money's at. That's
Yeah.
like an oil
Yeah.
engineer or something. That's where the money's going to be at. So
Yeah.
that's something that they should also think about too. And I know you mentioned about my cousin and stuff. So that's something I wanted to add on as well because I missed this.
For sure.
So during this whole process and everything, I didn't get partnered with my cousin. I got partnered with a few other friends.
Mm.
So I was working with them for a while. With the business for 7 years, we're working with
Yeah.
that. We're still established and
Nice.
everything. The business still running. Everything's still running. Everything's good. You get kind of
Nice.
burnt out. You get tired of it. You just
Yeah.
want to start something fresh.
Yeah.
So that's when I started going back to the cybersecurity journey. But let me go back to
Mm.
my cousin aspect of it. So my cousin, while he was training me and mentoring me, he had unfortunately accidents, and unfortunately
Mm.
there were some moments right there that was the moment that he passed away. So that was one of the
Mm.
moments as well that took a toll on me for many years. And that's when I kind of lost myself a little bit because it's just like, man, I lost myself. I lost my mentor. And
Mm.
that's when I was scared to find more mentors or even connect with more people because that's when I started seeing it's like, man, I lost somebody very close to me. And now if I get close to someone else, that's going to happen to me again. So that was a little scarcity aspect of it. That's when
Nice.
my cousin passed away, unfortunately, and everything. So I
Mm.
was in a dark side. I was in a dark moment. I was just sad. I was depressed. I was going through some stuff. And just because that was the only person that really like took me up, but to grab my hand and help me out through the whole process and everything. He was the only one that
Mm.
really took the initiative. So while all this stuff was happening, when I was going to that depressed phase, I was going back to my routes of going my back my old routines of going back to the streets and going back to doing bad stuff and stuff like that. And I was never a
Mhm.
bad kid. I was just around bad people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was just around bad people. That happened, that was going on, and that's when I one day I just got tired of it. I was like, "You know what? I just need to get up and do something. I just gotta wake up. I just gotta do this. Like, I'm done."
Mm.
So Wake Up is a platform right now that we're building. Well, pretty much me. I'm building right
Yeah.
now, but I do have a small little team. We're working together on this one. So pretty
Nice.
much we're working on this one, the Wake Up X, the original story, how Wake Up X started. It was more of a wake up call to me, to be honest. It
Mm.
was more of a wake up call and how we talked about it. I went through some tough stages of life, tough stages, going through some depression and moments like that. And I took that time. One day, it just changed my mindset. I was like, you know what? It's time for me to wake up. And what
Mm.
was that reality check? It was a reality check that I listened to one audiobook. It's called 10x rule from Grant Cardone. That
Mm.
10x book, Grant Cardone, pretty much told me, you know what, whatever you do in life, 10x it. If you want to be a successful, you want to be at IT, look into being the best IT in the world. If you want to be
Mm.
in marketing, look into being the best IT, the best marketing person. So always 10x your goals. So as an example, you're trying to make $100 a day, right? 10x that. Don't look at it as just like,
Mm.
okay, I already made my $100. That's it. Don't. Whenever you get to that goal and you already hit that goal, 10x it again. Even if you don't hit that goal, just know that you've already pushed it to
Mm.
the max that you can, and you'll be even surprised how much you even succeeded. Because if I really think about it, everything that I've done, and anybody can see my LinkedIn. You can go to linkedin.com. You
Mm,
can find me as Efren Salazar. So you can see everything that I've done. The Wake Up X, it started with a small little conversation with a buddy of mine. I was like, you know what, I'm planning to do this and I'm planning to do that and see what happens. And let me, I'm a 10x
nice.
to the next level. Let me think about it like way ahead. Honestly, I didn't expect getting to this level. I didn't expect this podcast to grow as much. I didn't expect a lot of people really engage into it. So
Mm,
that's when I told myself, is like, you know what, the 10x rule is it's a huge benefit for anybody. It doesn't mean what the type of industry you're at. Yes, if you listen to the book, it's all about real estate and mental success and everything, but you can utilize that to anything you want, anything.
mm,
So that is the Wake Up X, and pretty much what the Wake Up X as well. What we're our main mission is that we're here to help the community. We're here to build connections. We're here to show you that there's a reality. There's something that you can do out there, as many people might not see or might not heard about it. If you go to it, you'll see that have CTOs, entrepreneurs, serial entrepreneurs,
mm,
CISOs, CIOs. So what are these all these C levels? There are multiple levels of type of industry. CEOs, you of course everybody knows CEOs. CTOs is the one that runs the technology. CISO is the run the security aspect of it. CIO is the one that runs the information security aspect of it as well. And this is what I'm bringing to the table to everybody. It's not as most of us don't have the connections for these levels. So that's what I'm bringing to the
mm,
table to everybody else. It's for everybody to understand and learn
nice.
that you don't have to go out there. I would love for you to go out there, but
Mm,
if you don't have the resources, you don't have the connections at the moment, look into these podcasts. Like
yeah.
your podcast is as well. Like you have a lot of people, a lot of mentors in there, and that shows like from an entry level, they want to understand how the IT role works. How does the
Mm,
cyber work? How does the entrepreneurial work? Like for me, it's more of entrepreneurship based. So
mm,
entrepreneurship and motivational, inspirational, and business aspects of it. So that's my understanding
nice.
how things should be moving forward.
For sure.
And like for you too, like I've seen your podcast and everything, and this is something that a lot of people would love to see. Like it's something that people need to see, and this is there's not a lot of
Mhm,
platforms for this. If you see podcasts that talk about just the hacking aspect of it, it was like, oh, this happened to this and this and this, like they got hacked like this, but they don't talk
yeah.
about the back end story. How did it really happen? How it happened? Why did it happen? How what was the flaw? They just talk about the highlights. They don't talk about the reality. And
True.
yeah, that's sometimes the community. Like one thing I always say, our community is big, our people are even bigger, but nobody is there to connect it and bridge it together. Nobody.
Mm,
Like there's so many platforms everywhere, but nobody is really there to connect each other. The only thing that we're here is mainly going to these big conferences, and that's when everybody connects. But other than that, you just go there and you never see no one else.
watching, someone like Professor Messer and stuff like that, like those they influenced me a lot. And being around my dad and my grandpa doing the stuff they did, like being in touch with people, whether it's a friend or something like that, like yourself, Efren, like we hit it off right away because you have to be inspired to stay in tech because, like, I think in any industry, right, but particularly in tech, like sometimes we're hitting our head against the wall and trying to solve an issue, and we need that other person to be like, no, hey, let's break it down. Let me help you. Let's work as a team. Let's collaborate the overall fix this issue or fix the end goal. And I think being in the community, like we're in, it's important that we stick together and help each other and inspire people. Like looking at your podcast and your platform, Efren, that definitely is inspiring me. We chopped it up a little bit on voice messaging and text and stuff like that, and I think that's iron sharpening iron, right? Because like we don't know, like you mentioned, we don't know everything. So we need to work together to figure out how to complete our goals and help people, because that overall, this is something we're going to inspire people and have a positive influence over them. And I think that's really, really important, especially when it comes to, especially in the tech field. And speaking about, you touched on leadership. I saw on your LinkedIn, you joined Isaka up there in Sacramento. How did you become involved with that?
Again, thank you for highlighting that too.
For
Um,
sure.
for the ice soccer. So pretty much where I started with the ice soccer again, like it goes back to my original story that
Mm,
everything started with the volunteer base. Everything. So this
nice.
is what I mean about volunteering is one of the biggest keys to get you in somewhere else. You don't look at it as like, okay, I'm not getting paid or there's no benefit out of it. But look at it as like, you know what? It's a journey. Everything's gonna be a journey. Doing this podcast is a journey. We don't fall in love because we got 2,000 subscribers. We don't fall in love because we got
Yeah.
10,000 subscribers. We fall in love with the journey and the community that we're building. So this
Mm,
is what ice soccer was pretty much to me. Ice soccer, I went to it because it was a community based cybersecurity, and also I was really really fresh into it cybersecurity. I got convinced by a
mm,
friend of mine. His name is Igor. I'll put him here. He's one of my colleagues. We started
nice.
together as a one of the tech. He was my tech one. I was a tech two. And this is something again I want to clarify. Doesn't matter about the title, and I'll show you. I'll tell you why. He's a
Mm,
tech one, right? You already think automatically, okay, this guy's not smart enough. I'm the tech two, right? You're already thinking, okay, this guy's pretty smart. Yeah, we might be in different levels. I did teach him on a lot of stuff. I do say that. I taught him a lot in the informational technology. But again, you gotta listen to his part. He was really knowledgeable about the cybersecurity aspect of it. That's when I
mm,
got curious about cybersecurity. So that in the end, we both help each other out in this perspective. Now, this guy is a tech one. At this tech one, he moved to cybersecurity right away. That shows
nice.
you that shows you right there in the spot that it doesn't matter by title. Anybody can move around it. It can be higher, it can be lower. Somebody can always surpass you, and it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It's even like
Mm,
it's even more motivational because in my thoughts, I was like, you know what? I taught that guy. I mentored him for the whole process, and look at him. He did better than me. That's what I want to see. I want to see somebody getting better than me. I want to see somebody doing better than me.
oh, yeah.
So that's my main mission. And again, it's never been about
Mm,
the title base. That's something I want to tell everybody. It's not
true.
about the title. It's not what you have. It's not what certifications you have, what bachelors you have. Because my friend called my friend and colleague Igor, he was always giving me kudos everywhere. Oh yeah, he's my
Mm,
mentor. He was helping me out. He was doing this. He taught me about information technology. He taught me about this. And of course, vice versa. Hey, I give props to that guy. He showed me about cybersecurity. He taught me the fundamentals of it. He told me what to do, what's understandable, how things work. We get into the story, and the reason I'm bringing Igor into the story because we both got into to ISACA pretty much. I mean, not ISACA. We started with another
nice.
organization, IAC Square.
Nice. Okay.
So IAC Square, we went to IAC Square. IAC Square is another organization that we went to. We got
Yeah.
into that. I had a few buddies that go to the ISACA as well, and ISACA and IAC Square. They're pretty. We work together. We work together as a team. So I didn't know about ISACA. One of the guys told me that he's a director in ISACA. He was like, "Hey man, you want to come to ISACA? It's a pretty cool event, and I think we see your skill sets that we're doing in the podcast, and it looks great. We would like to bring you in." And he was like, "Okay, yeah, let's go." So I went over there, got connected with everybody. Started as a volunteer again. No,
Nice.
nothing back in return. Never asking nothing. I was like, "Yeah, let's just volunteer." I moved into volunteer. I started helping them out just for the basic stuff, maybe setting up something
Mm,
or communicating or networking with somebody. Starting into that, I got an opportunity to get a chair of communications. I got an opportunity for chair communications, moved
nice.
on, and then um, I got another opportunity to say, "Hey, you want to get in chair of governance?" It's like, "Yeah, let's do it.
Mm,
I'll do that." So every opportunity, I didn't reject it. I always give it a hard yes. And you may be wondering, okay, I'm not ready for the opportunity. What should I do? Just give it a shot. What can you lose? The worst thing
mm,
is, okay, it doesn't work. That's it. And if it does work, well, you made it. So
so
if
true.
you don't try, if you don't try at all in the beginning, you're gonna fail automatically because you never tried.
Mm,
So that's the way I looked at it. I was like, you know what, let's give it a shot. I'll work with them. And that's when I got connected with ISAC, built connections with resources with all the directors there. Then this few days I also ran for director of communications there. Unfortunately, I didn't get it, but this is an experience too. I want to tell you. So from a lower level tech versus to a CISO, a nominated
mm,
CISO, number one CISO in California, nominated for one. I forget what year, but it was nominated for one of the CISOs to compare to
uh,
someone as a lower level tech. And the best part is that we're almost tied to who was winning. So that shows a lot to in my point of view, is that man, I was being compared to someone very high to even almost winning him. So that gave me the
Mm,
again the confidence to say, you know what? Yeah, I might have a lower level, but I have the strategy and the mindset of a CISO. So these are the opportunities that you should always look into because again, the 10x rule. I never expected I was going to be an opportunity. I just gave my shot and said, you know what, let's 10x it. What can I lose? If I don't go, I'm already losing. If I do go,
mm.
well, we'll see what happens.
We have that, especially no matter if you're in tech or another industry, but like opportunities are like, man, what happens if this doesn't work out? What happens? You start asking questions. Well, if I do that, then do I have time to do this over here? Like, but that's a good example you did right there, Efren. You just jumped into it, and whether it works or not, you learn from it, and then you learn that experience. You take that experience and go to the next thing. And I think that's really really important, and that shows that you have first you have endurance, and but then also you have consistency. You're consistent at what you're doing, especially leadership roles, right? Volunteering for IC Square, ISACA, CompTIA. There's other organizations like that out there, and I think those are really good to be with because you get mentored, you mentor others, and opportunities like that. They have those organizations have leadership like you're in, and I think that's going to be really important. How do students build confidence before they have that real world experience?
So this is a really good question, and I get this a lot. So a lot of people always ask me, especially students. I
Mm,
work with some university students, and I work from students that are barely starting. And I'll be 100% truthful with you guys. I have no bachelor's, no master's, no nothing like
yeah.
that. I only had a certification, and I barely got my high school diploma about 4 or 5 years ago. So
Mm,
that's something I wanted to clarify with you guys, everybody else, because they might be thinking, "Oh, this guy knows everything." But hold on, don't let that stop you. Listen to what I'm trying to say.
mm,
A person that didn't have anything, no certifications, no bachelor's, no nothing, is also mentoring people from universities. They already have their masters, they already have their bachelors, they already have a bunch of certifications.
yeah.
Again, my colleague Igor, he had his own he already has his bachelor's and he had 10 plus certifications, right? And I was mentoring
Mm,
him. I'm not trying to say that I'm smarter than him, but this is how you're gonna change in your industry, and this is how you're gonna be unique.
mm,
Volunteering is one of them, huge one.
yeah.
Volunteering, getting opportunities, network with people. That's
Mm,
network. 2 is networking with people, communicating. Go on LinkedIn, add people. If you're not sure about the industry, you're not sure about anything, add people on LinkedIn. Make sure
yeah.
just add them, ask questions, figure it out if that's really what you really want to do. What's your industry? And third of all, if you already found out that you really do like this industry, you liked what you're doing, and you think it was
Mm,
like, okay, IT is my role, or program is my role, or GRC is my role, or cybersecurity
mm,
is my role. Now that you already got those fundamentals, build in labs, understand labs, and what I mean about
true.
labs, build something like a framework, understand your aspect of it more of like if you're trying to be a cybersecurity engineer, build your own home server about cybersecurity engineer.
Mm,
How does this work? How does this do? How can you make it work? How can a hacker get in? What is the internet protocol? What is a network connection? What is a VLAN? This is going to be more the technical side
true.
of it, but understanding these basic fundamentals, and it might not be basic fundamentals to other people. It's just going to be confusing. Like, what is a VLAN? And trust me, I was at that level. I
Mm,
didn't understand nothing about networking. I was at that level, but it's possible. Everything's possible when you start building your own labs. That's when you start getting curious. Second, if you don't have the resources for labs, there's also like Try to Hack Me, Hack the Box.
oh yeah.
There's Let's Defend. There's platforms like that you can pay. It might be a little bit cheaper because you don't have the hardware with you. And third of all, if you don't have the hardware, you don't have the you don't have the money to pay for that. Also look into YouTube, YouTube and podcasts. There's
Hmm.
so
Oh
many
yeah.
platforms right there.
For me being in a small community here in Arizona, students ask me like, "Oh, there's not a lot of opportunities." But you mentioned, Efren, you mentioned right there, you dropped a solid gem. There's YouTube, right? We live in a small community here in Arizona, where I'm at currently at right now in Yuma. We have YouTube, we have social media. Those two combined. Like yourself, I have no degree as well, Efren, and I think we see these huge, big, what I like to say, big brothers, in tech, where it's like they're CISOs, they're CTOs, and they have similar stories too, and learning about that and learning like a lot of times, don't get discouraged, especially nowadays where education is changing quick here, and the original type of education is just going out the door, and so you have to adapt to that learning pattern. And so, having your social media, having your YouTube, I think is going to really, really, really important for sure.
Mike, a huge appreciation to get me here, and congratulations on your 100 subscribers on YouTube too, man. That's a
Thanks,
big
appreciate that.
accomplishment. So that's a big
Yeah,
accomplishment. Trust me, man. When I started, I didn't have nothing. I know I might have about 500, 600, whatever it is. But when I started, I didn't have nothing. So I know how hard it is to maintain that and how hard it is to get those people to
yeah.
subscribe. So congratulations, man. I know you can make it more. I know it's going to take a little bit of time, but don't get discouraged. You can make it happen.
Building something out of nothing because it. You've done it time after time. It takes time, it takes discipline and just dedication. And then having that support system around you, your family, your friends, and your colleagues that be like, hey, you can do it. Let me know if you need any help, and that definitely helps out. You get a free round trip to ticket anywhere in the world tomorrow. Where are you going? Like any trip?
Oh, that's a tough one, man.
Yeah,
If it's a free trip, I'll definitely look into some cybersecurity events. Definitely like look into
nice.
like let's say it's like RSA event or something. I went to the RSA
Oh
conference
yeah,
in San Francisco. So
nice,
for that I live closer. So that's something closer to me. I could just drive over there about 2 hours.
nice.
That's where I met a lot of people, a lot of CEOs, a lot of
Mm,
CTOs, a lot of all type of levels, right? Red teamers and everything. That's if you see my podcast, you can go to www.wakeupxpodcast.com or find me on YouTube, Wake Up X Podcast with Efren Salazar. And you'll
mm,
see a lot of interviews from all type of levels. And that's where I got a lot of most of my interviews, a lot of mostly all my videos from there, just networking with everybody. I got so many opportunities. I learned from so many people. So that is something I will look into. I can't say which conference because I don't know which one. I'm still kind of fresh into the conference side of it.
yeah,
But so far, I've noticed that RSA was huge and it was awesome. But there's more conferences out there. So I would say I would look into a big conference, have a
nice.
game plan of networking, take a camera with you, put a
Yeah,
microphone. If you have to take somebody with you to record, do it. If you
there
don't
you
have
go.
nobody, I didn't have nobody with me, so I had to take a tripod and just record. And it might look a little crazy, it might look a little funny, but trust me, in the end, it's definitely worth it.
No, I appreciate you, man, coming on the podcast.
Thank you, I appreciate you, man. And we'll have a follow up too. We're going to put this on my podcast. This one's going to be yours, and we'll have a follow up
Nice.
on mine. Mine's a video based aspect of it, so we'll have some
Nice.
videos and recordings and some shorts. So thank you again.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Website is wakeupxpodcast.com.
And this is episode number 36 with Efren Salazar. See you guys.